hot in here, so I'm just so that's good. Get my rock salt. Get my seeds. Morning. Yes, yeah, rock salt. I don't know if you can see that very well. Morning. grab one. This one's straighter than this one. We're gonna keep this one. Getting ready. Just waiting for my water to boil, and then my pot's where my oven's almost at temperature. Turn the flames a bit here. This is our poppy seed. This one is, that's everything there. This is our white seed, sesame seed. Here's our multigrain. I'm gonna take a minute to eat some grapefruit flavored yogurt. I'm starving. I'll be back in 1 minute. I needed that. Oh, my tummy was empty. Let's see how that works. Morning, welcome to the stream. I just need to go get some bagels. Still waiting for my pot to boil, come to a boil. So you can go get some bagels. I'll be back. Get some bagels from the bagel place. Cold place. You probably saw that coming. Okay, Bill, I'll be back 1 minute. Morning. Morning. Almost ready to go. Hamlin towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests in the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking, with shrieking and squeaking, in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking to think we buy gowns lined with ermine for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in for your cynic ropes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking to find the remedy we are lacking, or sure as fate we'll send you packing." At this the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a guilder eyed my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just he said this, what should happen? At the chamber door but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little to wonder his fat, nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister, in a too long open oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous, for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a sprinkling of shoes on the mat, anything with the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the stranger's figure. His long clear coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair and skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek, nor beard on chin. The lips were smiling out and in, there was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table, and "Please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm to draw, all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper." And here they noticed round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe, to match with his coat of self-same check, and at scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vesture so old-fangled. Yes, said he, Pied Piper as I am, in Tartary I fred the cam, last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I eased in Asia than I am, of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 50,000 was the exclamation of an astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe a while. Like a musical adept, to blow his pipe his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, and a grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, grey rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street, pipe advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as heathen manuscript he cherished, to rat land home his commentary, which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound as of scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses ripe, and moving away the pickle boards, and leaving a jar of concert cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and the breaking hoops of butter casks, and it seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than my harp by Solery's reed, called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vast dry saltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bowl of sugar punch on, already staved like a great sun shone. Gracious, scarce an inch before me, just as methought it said come before me, found the Weser rolling over me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells till they rocked the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, and get long poles, poke out the nests and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, and leave in our town not even a trace of the rats. When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace. The first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders. The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for council dinners made rare havoc with claret, moselle, vin de gras, pot, and half the money would replenish their cellar's biggest butt of Rhenish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow with gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your poke. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. The piper's face fell, and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I've promised a visit by dinner time, Baghdad, and except for prime and head cook's pottage, all he's rich in, for having left in the caliph's kitchen, of a nest of scorpions no survivor. With him I proved no bargain driver. With you don't think I'll bait a stiver. And folks who put me in a passion may find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a ribald, with idle pipe and vesture piebald? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe with smooth straight cane, and ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as yet musicians cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of merry crowds justling and pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, little shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering, like foals in a farmyard when barley is scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping around merrily after the wonderful music with shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb, and the council stood as if they're changed into blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry to the children merrily skipping by. Could only follow with an eye that joyous crowd at the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosoms beat as the pipe returned from the high street to where the Weser rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, he's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, the wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced and the children followed, and when all were in to the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance the whole of the way. And in after years, if you'd blame his sadness, he was used to say, "This dull in our towns to my playmates left, I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. For he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town in jest at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers put forth a fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow was bred and a peacock here, and their dogs outran our fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame foot be speedily cured, the music stopped and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamilton, there came into many a burgher's pate, a text which says that heaven's gate opes to the rich at as easy rate, as the needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south, proffered the piper by word of mouth, wherever was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, and bring the children behind him. But when they saw it was lost endeavor, and piper and dancers were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should take their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376, and the better in memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing pipe or tabor was sure for his future to lose his labor, nor suffered they hostelry or tavern to shock with mirth the street so solemn. And opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were trepanned a long time ago in a mighty band out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with all men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats, from mice, if we promise them aught, let us keep our promise. That is the Pied Piper of Hamlin by Robert Browning, as you all probably well know by now. I'm about to take my first batch out of the water. I'm looking sort of rough this morning, I think. I feel sort of rough. I went swimming last night. Probably shouldn't have done that. Got home late, that's why I probably shouldn't have done that. There we go, our first batch out of the pot on the table. Now I'm putting them on the boards. Pot, table, boards, oven, crate. Pot, table, boards, oven, crate. In that order. Pot, table, boards, oven, crate. Pot, table, board, oven 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 crate. Oh no, that's backwards. That's not in the right order. You weren't listening. Okay. There we go. There's our first batch on the boards, in the oven. I gotta turn my flames down. Okay, I can put my next batch in. Hello, welcome to the stream. Gonna do poppy seed next, or no, I'll do everything next. Making bagels, Montreal style bagels, as I like to say. Montreal bagels, Vancouver style. There we go. Clean boards. Oh, I missed it. Oh, bagels. Yeah, we boiled them first. Yeah, so we boil them in a big pot right there. That's a big pot. That's a big pot burner. We're gonna start. We have a cinnamon bagel right now, but we're gonna do a cinnamon raisin. When I first started with this business about 5 years ago, we had a cinnamon raisin bagel, but we're gonna bring that one back. We also make maple walnut bagel that's really good, but that's we haven't made that in a while. We should make it again though. It's a popular flavor. But yeah, pecans would be a good addition too. I like pecans. I don't know. Are pecans and walnuts the same thing? No, they're not. Never mind. That was dumb. They're almost the same thing. My book. I guess pecans are a little bit sweeter. Okay, so I got one batch of bagels in the pot, and I got one batch in the oven. I just started like 10 minutes ago baking, so we have the dough makers. They work a different shift. I bake the bagels. I don't make the dough. So yeah, it's a separate shift. We have the separate production team. Our bakers sort of work solo here. I'm training a baker this morning and tomorrow, And then I'm training another baker for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think. So that's why the name of today's show is called Training Week, is because this week I'm going to be training bakers. Pot, table, board, oven, crate. Pot, table, oven, board. Oh no, that was a pot, table, board, oven, crate. Oh yeah. Those are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Obviously, are busiest days, I guess. Saturday is very busy. Especially this is our commercial location, and it's definitely Saturday's our busiest day for sure. Smokes a Newport bra. Smokes a Newport. You can never have clean enough boards. Never. Where is you new guys late? We're in I don't know what you're asking, but this is we're crates. We're located on Commercial Drive in Vancouver. You're getting blocked. Wherever you are. Can't even have a pleasant stream without some Trump supporter making uncivil comments on your stream. No, we don't have a stuffed bagel. We put toppings on the bagels. We have cream cheese and Montreal smoked meats and turkey. So we make sandwiches. Supposed to be using this board. Oh, that board is twisted. We have a supplier here in Vancouver called Windsor Plywood. I'm not exactly sure where they get the boards from, but They are mahogany boards. I'm going to recite another poem. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that pursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What saved to waylay with his lies and snare all travelers who might find him posted there? And ask the road, I guessed what skull-like laugh would break, what crutch can write my epitaph for pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside into ominous track, as all agree, hides the dark tower, yet acquiescingly I did turn as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end descried, so much as gladness some end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring my heart made, finding failure in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes the farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, and the blow fallen no grieving can amend. While some discuss if near the graves be room enough for this, and when a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with care about banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so oft been writ, so many times among them band to wit, the knights who do two dark towers search address their steps, the just to fail as they seem best, and all doubt was now, should I be fit? So quiet as despair I turned from him, that hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed. All the day had been a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into its close, yet shot one grim red leer to see the plain catch its astray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged in the plain after a pace or two, then pausing to go backward a last view, over the same where 'twas gone, grey plain all round, nothing but plain to horizons bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such stark and noble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers I'll expect to see or grow, but chortle and spurge according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to awe. We think a bird being a treasure trove. No Henry inertness Ingram mace, in some strange sort were the land's portion. See and close your eyes that features usually, and nothing skills. I can't help the case. 'Tis less judgment, fire must cure this place. Calcine its pods and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its weeds, its head was chopped. The bents were jealous else, who made the holes and rents in the dock's harsh shores leave. Bruised as you walk, all hope of greenness, 'tis a brute must walk, passion their life out the bruise and tents. As for the grass, it grew as scarce as hair in leprosy. Thin, dry blades pricked the mud which underneath looked kneaded up with blood. One stiff, blind horse, as every bone astare, stood stupefied however he came there, thrust out past service from the devil's stud. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red, gaunt, and callous neck skin, and shut eyes beneath the rusty mane. Seldom when such grotesque and split such woe. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such fate. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart. As a man calls for wine before he fights, I asked one draft of earlier, happier sights. Ere fitly I could hope to play the part. Think first, fight afterwards, the soldier's art. One taste of old times that's all to rights. Not it, I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold, an arm and mind fixed me to that place, that way he used, alas, one night's disgrace, at my heart's new fire and left it cold. Giles then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago when knighted first, an honest man should dare, he said he durst, good but the scene shifts, thaw what hangman's hand pinned to his breast of parchment, his own band reads it, poor traitor spit upon and cursed. Better this present than a past like that. Back therefore to my darkening path. No sound, no sight as far as the eye can strain. Will the night send a howl or a bat, I asked, when something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent came. No tides congenial to the glooms. This, as it frothed by, might have been a bath for the fiend's glowing hoof, to see the wrath of its black eddies be spat with plates and spoons. So petty yet so spiteful, all along low scrubby alders kneeled over it. Drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit of rote despair. A suicidal throng, the river which had done them all the wrong, whatever that was, rolled by, deterred no whit. Which while I forded, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek, each step or feel a spear I thrust to seek, for hollows tangle in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby's shriek. Glad was I to reach the other bank, now for a better country. Vain presage, who are the strugglers? What war did they wage? Whose savage trample could thus pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poisoned tank, or wild cats in a red-hot cage? The fight must so have seemed in that foul cirque. What penned them there with all the plain to choose? No footsteps leading to that horrid muse. Mad Druids, none of it. Mad Druids set to work their brains, no doubt, like galley slaves the Turk pits for his pastime Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for? That wheel would break, no wheel. That harrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk, with all the air of Coffin's tool, on earth left unaware or brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. Then came some stump ground, once a wood, next a marsher with seemed, now mere earth, desperate and done with, so the fool finds mirth, makes a thing and mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes, within a rude bog, clay and marsh, sand and stark black dirt. Now blotches colored gay and ruined, now patches where some meanness of the soil is broken to moss or substances like boils. Then came a palsied oat, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it coils. As far as ever from the end, not in the distance but the evening knot, point my footsteps further at the thought. Great black bird, Apollyon's bosom's friend, sailed past or beat his wide wings dragon-penned. It brushed my cap, perchance the guide I sought. For looking up, where I somehow grew, the plain had given place all round to mountains, with such names of gray-smeared heights and heaps now stolen in view. How thus they surprised me, solve it you. How to get from there was no clear case. Yet half I seemed to recognize some trick of mischief had happened to me. God knows when, in a bad dream perhaps, here ended then progress this way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time, came a click, as when the trap shuts, you're in the den. Burningly I came upon me all at once. This was the place. Those two hills crouched like two bulls locked horn in horn in fight, while to the left a tall stout mountain, Dun's daughter to dozing at the very nunce after a lifetime of training for the sight. What in the midst lay with the tower itself, the round squat turret built of brown stone, blind as a fool's heart without a counterpart, blind as a fool's heart, blind as a fool's heart, built of brown stone without a counterpart in the whole world. The tempest is mocking out, points to the shipman thus the unseen shelf. He strikes on only when timbers start. not see when noise was everywhere. It told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears of lost adventurers, my peers. How such was strong and such was bold, and such was fortunate, yet each of old lost one moment knelled the woe of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside bent, to view the last of me. For one more picture in a sheet of flame, I saw them and knew them all, and yet, dauntless, sunborn to my lips I sat and blew, child rolling to a dark tower came. Oh my God. So I sort of missed up the end of that poem there. That was Robert Browning's Child Rolling to a Dark Tower Came. Close the door, what? Bonjour. So I don't speak French. Hello. Hello. Oh, it's hot in here. Oh my God. I don't think the air conditioning is on. Hello, I'm doing well. How are you doing? I'm feeling the heat today. It's my first day back. I had a couple days off. Yes, I'm a baker. I'm making bagels. Yeah, I like it. It's a great job. I'm thirsty. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be back in 1 minute. Morning, welcome to the stream. Baking bagels this morning. I think that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be back here tomorrow morning. Yeah, have an excellent morning. Thanks for watching.